Alright guys, you're welcome to the Think Podcast. My name is Joshua Francis and I have with the studio with me Uche, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna go by first names for the sake of our policy of confidentiality. Just first names. I think it's okay.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it says.
It's fine. So we want to talk about some things this evening. Listen up. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. Alright. Grab a snack. Grab whatever you want to grab. Let's discuss. All right, so where do we start from?
Maybe we should start with aging, the fear of aging, the shame that comes with
fear of aging. We were talking about that, and I said something. I said that why is it that there are two things that I've discovered that it's quite private and sensitive with people, and that's when you speak of the subject of their age, and the other thing is the subject of their salary, how much they earn per month, or however the duration of how they get their remuneration. There are two things, just those two things, age and salary. So let's talk about the first one, age. What do you think?
Okay, as for age, the thing I've noticed about age is like there's this shaming around age.
Okay.
So this shame is usually particular with women.
Okay.
I noticed that the society shames women for aging. It's like society it almost feels like the society hates older women.
Okay.
It feels like the older you get, the more useless you become. You become not useful.
Sorry, I'm not a lady, so I don't think I can relate. So I can just say okay. So don't worry. Continue.
Okay, let me just ask you a question. Have you ever been shamed for being 24?
Actually, on my 21st birthday, I was so proud to say, in fact, I did a time, what they call it, time down or something like that. You know, it's clicked to 24, and I posted it on WhatsApp. I said, someone asked me, why are you comfortable with sharing your age? And I said, you will still see my age in Wikipedia after a while, so there's no point in me hiding it now. Just like Mark Zuckerberg's age is not a secret; it's on Wikipedia. I said mine will also be on Wikipedia. I know I'll be there, so it's just my perception of how I see it. But I don't think I've ever gotten ridiculed or made to feel shame for being 24. I don't think so. That has never occurred.
I think I like the part where you said you are comfortable sharing your age.
Yeah, I am.
But I can assure you that most women are not comfortable sharing their age.
Okay.
And why is that? It seems like there's this fear we have as women for aging. We're afraid of aging. And this, you see these things in the way we dress up ourselves, the way we take care of ourselves, the way we buy things, the way we use cosmetics. Now, if you check most of the products in the market, there are a lot of products out there that they are anti-aging. They say they're anti-aging, and these products sell very, very well.
Why is that? Creams and things like that.
Where there are serums, where there are lotions, where there are eye cream, they just say they are anti-aging serums. Even though we know very well, like it's you just know that you are aging.
Yeah.
Even though we know aging is natural, but because the society shame people for aging, it's just like they have a way of telling you that you are becoming older, you're becoming useless.
Yeah.
Like sometimes these things flies in our face. Sometimes people can just insult you and say, "Oh, he's an old man."
Yeah.
They don't say he's an old man with that tone of celebrating. Oh, he's elderly now. He's not. He's elderly. That means he has more wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh, he's elderly now. That means he's less attractive, less appealing, not exactly useful in the society.
Yeah.
Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Now let me come back to women. Now there are some things I've noticed about aging, and I see these things. I've even gone online and I've watched some videos about women talking about the fear of aging, and I see it's women that are afraid of aging the more, not men. Like a guy could say, "I'm 42 and I'm single," and he feels no shame, and nobody will shame him about being 42 and unmarried.
Yeah.
Most people won't. At least most people won't shame him.
Yeah.
But how dare you as a woman say you're 42 and you're single? What gives you the right to be single at 42? You should be married at 42. Now, nobody cares if you do not want to get married.
Okay.
Nobody cares if you do not want to have children at all.
Yeah.
It's part of. It's just like a rite of passage in life.
Okay.
You are born, you grow up, that you get to this particular age, you get married, you have children. If you do not want to follow that rite of passage, in quote,
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
like you don't want to get married, you don't want to have children, you see people shame you for not wanting these things. Even though we live in a world now where there is this increase in couples getting married and deciding not to have children,
Yeah.
of women deciding they don't want to get married at all, they want to live their life, they want to pursue their dreams and all that,
Yeah.
we still get shamed for not being married, no, decide not to get married, decide not to have children past a certain age.
So I know there was once I asked a young lady. I asked her. I said I was just curious. I can't remember why, but I asked her, what, give me an age range of, the young ladies that you're talking about, and possibly yours actually. She wasn't direct. I don't know for the reason why she wasn't direct, but she said around. She gave me a range of age, not specific, not on point. So I didn't ask after that. I didn't press on to say, okay, what's the exact age precisely, because I got a sense that it wasn't an information that needed to be disclosed at that point in time, or possibly to a person like me. So I just stopped. So the way you're saying it is like it's something that has, it's obvious, it's seen, it's felt around the society that people don't like, most especially ladies. In fact, on social media or on the internet, you say don't. I think I've come across something that said don't ask a lady her age. What does that mean?
They say don't ask really their age because they know she probably get triggered by you asking
Triggered.
that. Yes, she get triggered by you asking that question. Why is she triggered in the first place? Now I've asked myself this question over and over because I had a co-worker who had decided to taunt me every time we are in the same place about my age, me being 34 and unmarried. And at first I was troubled. At first I got triggered. But I remember reading a book that says questions are the answer. The questions are actually the answer. So I took a couple of days to ask myself over and over, so it registers in my deep, my subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Why are you triggered when she says something to remind you that you're married and you're childless? Why are you triggered? And then I realized the reason why I'm one of the reasons why I'm triggered is because of the pressure that comes from the society.
Yeah.
The pressure that comes when you are not married and when you don't have children. The shaming, because I realized what she's doing, she's not just reminding me, she's shaming me for being single and not having
Okay.
kids. I clearly see that she's miserable, that she's in a miserable marriage. And I clearly see sometimes in her tone, I sense that she wishes she could turn back the hands of time so she could choose a better partner. But then she can't say that arrogantly. She can't say she just wants me to, she's just trying to give me this shame energy. She wants me to live in shame of being single and unmarried. Because when people are living in shame, you see they can't live their best life. You can control them because they're living in shame. So what I did was question myself. So I asked myself this question: why are you triggered? Why are you triggered? And I discovered also at the root of it is fear.
Okay.
So why are you afraid of being single? Why are you afraid of not having children? You're afraid because when you go out there you get shamed.
All right.
For being unmarried, or you get shamed for being single. Now age. So if a guy walks up to me and says, "How old are you?" It's already in my subconscious. So I get this alarm. Why is he asking my age? Maybe he's asking my age because he wants to ask me why I'm not married this age, married this age, married this age, or he wants to ask me. I just feel like he wants to shame me.
Yeah. Is it that whenever those questions get asked, they trigger some connection to try to seek the context from which that question was coming from? And
Yes.
and don't you think that oftentimes that context could be biased, or is it that the context could be predicted from, let's say, reading, the body language, the tonality of the voice of the person, the way the person's facial expression. You could know exactly why they asked the question in the first place. So you know how to answer. What's the case?
I think there are guys who ask these questions innocently.
Okay.
But why are you asking that question in the first place? If not that you've been conditioned to judge women as they grow older, as they age. Why are you asking? Why are you curious about a woman's age? Okay, look at this scenario. A guy is 28, and then she's asking a guy is 28 and single,
Okay.
or married,
Okay.
doesn't even know what he's doing with his life.
All right.
But he's asking a 28-year-old lady, why are you not married? Do you see that now that he thinks he can be 28 and unmarried? He has the right to be 28 and unmarried, but the woman doesn't have the age to be 28 and unmarried. That means there's a certain condition attached to that.
Yeah.
Because he's been conditioned to see women a certain way. He's been conditioned to see women as married at a certain age. Okay, you can go to school, get a college degree. By the end of the day, you should be married. You should be married at the age of 28, 29. You should be at a certain, at your late 20s. Okay, we know we can tolerate you when you're 21, 22, 23. But once you are in your late 20s, what's going on with you? Why are you not married? So people don't know that these things are deeply, deeply registered in their subconscious. It's conditioned. We don't know these things. Just like those of us that have colonized mind, we don't know that the reason why we say some things, believe some things, ask some silly questions is because we are operating with a colonized mind. Now, as for you said something about perception, that if the question could be biased.
Yeah. That's
maybe
just like you said, that someone could ask the question innocently.
Okay,
but if I pose the question, turn it the other one, what if it's a lady that asks another lady? Oh, you've said that before, but speak on it again. What if it's a lady that asks another lady, her age?
Let me tell you something. This condition about age, you have to know that when I talk about erroneous conditionings.
Sorry, I didn't get that word.
Erroneous conditioning.
Okay, erroneous. Okay.
Like if you have dark skin, you're ugly. If you have big nose, flat nose, you're ugly. If you have thick lips, you're ugly.
Yeah.
Beauty standards, all that. It's not particular to boys alone.
Okay.
Toxic conditioning is people get as we are giving birth to, as we grow up as kids, we have this erroneous conditioning. So it's not just for boys; it's also for girls. Sometimes we operate against ourselves as women. Do you understand me?
Okay. Yeah, I get you.
So sometimes we sabotage ourselves as women. Do you know, it is recently I started seeing the reason why I look at ladies a certain way. Let me tell you the truth. Now, because now I have awareness. But there's something like cellular and I think cellular memory and muscular memory. So muscular memory, when it has to do with things you do with your hands. Like, say somebody knows how to bake.
Okay.
And maybe later was involved in an accident or something. Because the muscular memory of knowing how to bake, since she's baking with her hands, she can still continue baking even without any form of cellular memory.
Okay.
But if you used to be an artist, if you used to be a banker, if you used to be an accountant, all those professional courses, you are most likely to forget some things because they're cellular, they are in here.
Okay.
But one that has to do with working with your hands are the ones that you can retain the more. Now, conditionings that I've got from childhood, some of them are still with me. They're still working against me. But the difference between me and somebody who hasn't done any work is that I'm now aware.
Oh, yeah.
So I have the cellular memory is still there. So it's going to take me a while for me to erase them out of my memory. But at least now I'm aware that when I ask a lady who is 42, why are you not married? I know why I'm asking her why she's not married.
Okay.
So now I catch myself judging a lady who's not married, even though I'm a lady myself. Now I'm supposed to be loving, I'm supposed to be understanding, I'm supposed to be compassionate to myself and another lady. But I am not. Why? Because of the erroneous condition that I got from childhood.
Yeah, I get that.
So when you catch another lady, when you see another lady asking another lady, like a lady who's 28, asking a lady that's 34, 36, why she's not married, you just know that what is playing out is the conditioning that she has gotten. So even though she's sabotaging, I bet that lady is not nice to herself. The question she's asking that lady now, she will ask herself in the future if she doesn't get married at the age of 34, or if she doesn't get married in her 20s, and maybe by the time she gets to her 30s, she'll start to sabotage herself. She'll start to beat herself up while she's not married, because she doesn't even love herself. She has not even worked on herself. So this conditioning is not just for you. It's not something that you use against other people. Something that you weaponize against your own self. So because I believe in self-love, I believe self-love is the most important love. Like, love yourself first before you can extend that love to someone else. So how am I showing self-love to myself? I'm working on deconstructing erroneous beliefs that have been ingrained in me from childhood.
Okay.
Like patriarchy, which is working against women, misogyny, and all that. Anything I know that is working against me, all the erroneous narratives, erroneous beliefs, erroneous conditions on race, sex, marriage, relationships, romance. I'm working on these things constantly.
No, I love this. I actually love it. But I want to ask a very funny question. Don't mind me. I live in a society that traditionally it's a taboo to speak on some subjects.
Okay.
In fact, don't even bring it up. In fact,
it's being frowned at.
It's being frowned, not just frowned at. It's a taboo to speak of those things.
Okay.
Speaking of them, you get ostracized, you get marginalized, you get shunned. Like, shut your mouth. We don't talk about that.
This is not the Western world.
Yeah, maybe, probably. But the thing is that knowledge of those things are beneficial for, the children. Now, there was an article I wrote a certain time. I said, I don't believe in secrets. The title of the article was, I think, I don't believe in secrets. Now, I truly don't believe in secrets. I think there are no secrets, but they are private things. It's just private. For example, asking, a young lady once told me that, whether you like it or not, young ladies and young guys, they have boyfriend and girlfriends. Even though you might say, okay, it's not, don't do that, don't do that. And whether you like it or not, they do those things. Whether you like it or not, they do those things. And it seems like, speaking of these subjects, in some family, it seems like a taboo. But I think there is an education that young ladies and young guys need to have from home in order for them to be safe, to be informed when these things begin to happen. For example, for young ladies, the changing system in their body as they begin to grow. So what do you think you can say concerning that? Concerning the taboo? Because whether you like it or not, these things are in existence, but we don't speak of those things because it seems like they are too sensitive, or the children are too innocent to begin to hear matters concerning that. What do you think?
Now, this is my opinion. When it comes to ideologies, I believe in balance. Don't be at the extreme. Don't be at the outside. Just be in between. Now, there are people who don't believe in a religion at all.
Yeah.
Then there are people who go the extreme when it comes to religion. I don't like any of those. I prefer to be in the middle.
But this is actually not about religion.
I'm giving an example.
Okay.
It's just I'm just telling. I'm just trying to. I prefer balance.
Okay.
Now, we don't talk about certain things in this culture, not because they are wrong, but because of traditions.
Yeah.
And religion is part of it too.
Indeed. I must say that.
Who made these traditions?
Man.
Man is not perfect. So maybe, I don't care that these traditions have been in place like since 200 years ago. I don't care, or 10,000 years ago. As long as it's men that made them, they should be corrected, adjusted over time if it doesn't fit the modern day society.
Yeah.
That's my own belief. Now, there are some things parents don't teach their children about. They don't teach their children, but but these children should be taught these things. Like when it comes to sex.
Exactly.
For example, now, what you are hiding from this child is what the child will still learn outside. And woe betide that child that learns it the wrong way from the wrong source. Like I was watching a video and this guy, I can't remember, this guy was talking about how teenagers learn about sex. That more than 70% of young guys learn about sex from friends, from reading books, or from Pornhub. Yeah, I hope I'm not wrong about that number. So there's an appropriate time to teach children about sex, about at least the changes in their body. There's the appropriate time to teach children about this. I don't have kids now, but I believe there's an appropriate time to teach children about this, and I will teach my children about these things because these things are life. This goes back to what I was talking about of shame. Yeah. Now, shame it's a weapon that's used in this present world. Like, it's so weaponized that shame has been really, really massively weaponized in this world we live in. The shame surrounding sexual intercourse, the shame surrounding age and all that. Why are you ashamed to talk about something that is as natural? Okay, just imagine that you went to visit your friend, and then you walk into the living room, and the mother says, "Oh, please wait, he's in the restroom." Will you look at the mother and say, "What do you mean he's in the restroom? What is restroom? What's he doing in the restroom?" If you ask that question, what's in the restroom?
You look dumb.
Don't you think they'll question your sanity at that moment?
Exactly.
Because it's like this is normal, right?
Yeah,
this is human. Why are you surprised that he's in the restroom? The same way, isn't sexual intercourse human? Why are these things not being taught to children? Why don't we embrace these things without shame? These are beautiful things of life. Do you understand? But there's this shame surrounding sexual intercourse, surrounding sex. That's even why we can't even call our body parts what they are. The private parts, you can't call them. You can't call the names. We can't call the one because there's the shame. I remember when I was in secondary school. One time, my English teacher was talking about reproduction in animals. I think he was using pig as an example. So when she got to the part of the female, I remember her entire face just her face just became discolored all of a sudden. I could sense the
was she struggling to speak?
Exactly, I could sense the unease. The unease, thank you. I could sense the unease in his entire body, like because she's talking about. And then when somebody said, "Ma, do you understand? Can you talk more on this?" She got visibly angry. She was provoked. Like, what do you mean you don't understand this? You're speaking in Igbo language. What do you mean you don't understand it? Don't you get what I mean by this? I remember somebody asked another teacher. That was the Agric teacher. When we later got a new teacher, Agric teacher, that didn't.
It wasn't a problem.
It wasn't a problem with him. He said everything the way it should be. He said he really elaborated.
Yeah.
So you see the thing with shame. You see how shame works on women. It's different from the way it works on men.
All right.
That is why you see men are really expressive when it comes to sex, age. Unlike women. Women are withdrawn when it comes to this. Because even the society teaches you as a woman, you are not allowed to ask for certain things. Because you'll be seen as a wild woman, you'll be seen as a worldly woman. I think there's a word they use for it.
Now, how about the extreme of this part of young lady who, like the extreme of feminism? How about that extreme? What can you speak about? Because I assume it to be an extreme. It's too much. Of course, you can speak on some things, but it gets too much to the point where you say marriage is not relevant, men are not relevant, and so how about what can you say about that extreme? Because I consider it to be an extreme.
Can you tell me like two things that has been invented in this world so far? Good things that have not been used for bad things. That have not been weaponized for evil.
I think almost everything.
That's one thing. I think this whole movement of feminism. No, it's not feminism. Feminist.
Feminist, yeah.
I don't know how it started. I haven't really read up on it. But I didn't think it started as a way to contradict men, as a way to contradict marriage, criticize marriage, condemn marriage.
Okay.
But sometimes good things, good movement, they turn into rackets over time. I don't know why that is. So that is why I talked about balance. So now it seems they are now on the extreme. Just because your marriage isn't working doesn't mean you come out and influence 100 million young ladies that are 15. They are not, at that age, there are a lot of things they don't think about. They are still growing up. They are still babies. You now influence their thought. You now shape their thought on marriage. You don't allow them to learn themselves. You don't allow them to learn by reading, learn the right way. You now shape the way they think about marriage, which will affect them by the time they get to 25, 26, when they want to actually get married. So just because your marriage doesn't work, doesn't mean another person's marriage wouldn't work. So feminists, they actually have good points. They talk about equal pay. So why are we doing the same jobs and then we're earning different salaries just because you are a man and I'm a woman? Doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
We are doing the same thing. But then they go to the extreme of saying you should not get married. Men are scum. We should not be afraid of leaving this man. Let me decide if I want to leave a man. Let me decide what I want to do with myself. That's just the extreme part. Being a feminist, I don't think there's anything wrong being a feminist because they're fighting for a cause.
Yeah.
You could agree that there are some countries where they don't like raising training girls to as in educating girls. You could agree that some cultures. Yeah. So those are the parts where feminists fit in, where they say no, just because they are girls doesn't mean they cannot be doctors. You should allow them to choose what they want in their life. Just because they are girls doesn't mean you should raise them in a way that they make men center of their life. So whatever career they want to pick, whatever they want to do with their lives, you just raise girls for marriage. Know how to cook, know how to clean. Don't bother going to university because you will eventually get married. Let them be. So these things that's extreme too.
Yeah.
I know I'll get married, but how will you raise me as if marriage is the only thing I came to this world to do? I could be a doctor.
Good point.
I could be an inventor.
Yeah.
So I think it's extreme too to raise girls like
okay,
you should be getting married.
Okay,
no,
so
let me say something though.
All right.
Now that kind of conditioning, that kind of when you raise a girl to prepare for marriage, that is going to make her to be male centered.
What do you mean male centered?
Male centered, that is most of the things she does in life are centered around men. This is one of the origins.
Centered around men, like attracting men, doing something
exactly.
that appealed.
Yeah, so that means
men.
Her looks.
Okay.
Whatever her looks, the way she speaks,
her clothing.
She's going to do everything to make sure she's appealing to men.
Okay.
And why I'm saying this is because of the energy that is invested in doing these things.
But isn't that what exactly happens in the society? Because it seems like, to me, it seems like
it shouldn't be that way.
It's difficult to walk on the streets without getting distracted.
That's because of the conditioning they have. Now, you see women buying books on female relationship. How to talk to your man, how to be a good girlfriend, how to be the best cook and all that, just to cater to men. How many times do you see men reading books on how to be a good husband, how to be a good spouse, how to be a loving boyfriend? They don't. It's women that read these books because they don't know that their life is so centered around men.
Okay.
That they want so much validation. It affects them so badly. So that is where I come in when you say women sabotaging, that is one of the reasons why women hate each other. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Say a lady sitting in a room and another lady who is as beautiful as she is or more beautiful than she is walks in. Immediately you sense the energy changes, the hatred.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you think she's competing with her energy without saying a word?
I don't know.
Why is that? Because of male attention. Because she now thinks, oh, that guy sitting by the end of the room could give me 100% attention. But now that this lady is here, it's going to reduce to 50% attention.
It'll be 30.
So that's why you see women fighting against it. That's why you see women don't love each other. It's patriarchy. What do I mean by patriarchy? Like that thing of loving men so much, like pedestalizing men. You put men in a pedestal. Do you understand me? That's one of the issues why women don't agree with each other. So that's the extreme. So when you say feminists are being too extreme by saying don't get married, that's extreme. You should also think about the other part of conditioning young girls to plan their life around a man. That's extreme too. So that's part of what feminists are fighting against. That's why they're saying teach girls to be doctors.
Okay.
If a girl is trying to be doctor, that means she's not making a man a center of her life. Because if the man is center of her life, that means she doesn't have to go to college. She doesn't have to finish secondary school, learn a trade, and get married. If she wants to be a doctor, that means she's going to get married later, 32, 34, 36, because she has to get a degree. That means she's putting herself first.
Yeah.
Not putting a man first. So that's what feminists are fighting for. I agree that there's some extremism to it. But I would also tell you there's a lot of advantages to being a feminist.
Good
So it's
point.
just striking the balance, just getting to the balance, just balancing. That's just where the issue is. And when it comes to balancing it, you preaching to the whole community of feminists and say, let's get a balance. I think that's good. That's personal, because what you have to know is that people's past, people's childhood, the way people may raise is going to affect the way they practice feminism.
Okay. So I want to point out while you were speaking, point out the fact that sometimes when we are in discussing about some things, and then there's a sensitive topic that comes up, in our definition, sensitive, and someone said, you know what I'm saying, like when they're speaking of something like sex, someone says, you know what I'm saying, and then they allow the person to understand what they are trying to say. Probably the person might not understand. The person might just nod. And like, for example, while I'm saying this, I say something like, you know what I'm talking about. They don't demystify the issue. They don't speak on it. They don't break it down to really say, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They just assume and expect the person to understand. Do you think that's a good way to raise a child, or to, speak to a friend concerning matters? Because there are some things friends might even want to talk about. They just say, when it gets to that position of a sensitive topic, you say, those kind of things. What do you think, why we are raising a generation, and why we're also coming up and building ourselves? Do you think we should discuss with our peers or with younger ones in that kind of tonality, if it's necessary? Sometimes it's not necessary, fine, but if it's necessary, do you think it's proper to break it down, even though you might say this one, you don't want this one to be exposed to something like this?
I think it's proper to demystify those things, because these things are natural. They're not immoral. Have you ever been to the hospital and then the doctor is talking to you, and then he tells you that part of your body, you know what I mean?
I don't think.
Dear is aching. Like, let's say you go to the hospital, and then you have a complaint. The doctor will definitely ask you, what's wrong with you? And then you say, that part of my body, you know what I mean? It's aching me. You look so stupid.
Really stupid. Like,
do you understand me?
Speak.
Do you want to talk, or you want to live? You want to live with your pain?
Yeah.
What if that part of the body is paining me? Use the word. That's what I'm talking about. Shame. When you raise a child like that and say, that part of your body, don't allow your body to touch that part of your body. This part. Mommy, which part you talk about? Which part are you talking about?
Is that
one. You're expecting to hear. So already you're already teaching that child shame. You're already telling the child that is not something that you talk about. Don't mention the name.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine now you're talking about you are teaching a child about sex, and you say, my dear, you see this place now is called the vagina. This place is called this, and you mention the names. You see, I can't even pronounce the name myself. That's how deep it is. And then you say, this is the vagina, this is that. Don't allow a guy to touch this part as a vagina. If that child goes out and say, my mommy taught me that I shouldn't touch this, a boy shouldn't touch this part as my vagina, your mom must be a terrible mother. She must be immoral.
They just start looking at you
because those people too have been conditioned to have shame around those things. But if that child grows up that way, she's going to be amazing. Already, she wasn't taught how to be ashamed about those things. Okay, let me give another example. Like now, I know hair is political. We've been conditioned to believe that our hair is ugly. We've been conditioned to associate our hair with pain, with convenience. We've been taught to believe that there's something scruffy and untidy about natural hair. The hair that we grew up with. There's something I used to console myself with my hair. Do you know what that is?
What's that?
The way my hair grows up.
Okay.
It's not strange. My hair grows upward. Do you know why it's not strange?
What?
Trees grows upward too. Most plants actually grows what?
You go upward.
So I compare my hair to it. There's this plant in my school, flower plant in my school. I just compare. I once told my student, do you see why are you ashamed of your hair? Do you see how that plant is growing? Is it growing sideward or downward or upward? It's upward. I said, that's how your hair grew too. You are higher animals, right? Nothing strange. Now, look at children. Mothers use relaxers on their prepubescent girls. Yes, prepubescent, they're under, as in they are not even up to 12. Okay. They're not up to pubescent age. You're using relaxers on their head. Their brain that's still growing. You're using relaxers on their hair.
Okay.
When you use relaxer on a child that is 1 year, okay, let me say 3 years, you relax the child hair a little. 12, 5, 7, 9, 12. You're still using relaxers. You've never made her hair, and you really make her, like during celebrations, use extensions to plait her hair, to braid her hair. What are you teaching that child?
I have no idea right now. I'm lost.
You are telling the child your hair is not actually beautiful. If you want to look beautiful, this extension is what you can use to. When you use this extension on your hair will not look beautiful.
Oh,
your hair is not that beautiful to be carried like that. Do whatever you can to hide your ugly hair. You understand?
Yeah.
You didn't convey this message directly, but you did energetically.
Subliminal.
Do you understand me? So the child picks up early on that my hair is ugly. Extensions are actually beautiful. She just sees it as normal to use extensions. Recently, my niece was talking about extensions. I don't know what I was doing with my hair. And she now said, I don't feel carrying my hair like this. This virgin herself. The way she said she has learnt the hate. She has already picked up the hatred.
Yeah.
So now she already know how to hate her hair. Do you see?
Yeah.
Self-sabotage. So we not teaching our children about sex. We are doing them harm. You understand? Children that are taught about sex will really be abused by adults. Because they know that place is fundamental, that place is private, that place is important. So that means if you touch it, that means you're doing something wrong. So they tell their parents. But the ones who doesn't know anything are the ones that will get abused the more. Shame. Why are we ashamed about our body parts? Why are we ashamed about our hair? Why do we shame each other? Let me talk a little about it. I think the most painful part of being natural is the shame you get from people who are supposed to understand you. If a white guy shames me, a white lady shames me, I know we have different hair types. But when you that is black like me, your hair grows out the same way my hair grows out of my head, and you now shaming me because your mind is so colonized, it's way, way more shameful and painful than if it's another person that is doing that. Somebody has a different hair texture.
Someone from a different colonization, someone from a different environment, different ethnicity.
Yes.
Yeah, it is very, very important thinking about these things, and it's very, very crucial that conversations like this, come up and then we discuss it. So, I want you to give a recommendation, while we're rounding up. I want you to give us recommendation of what you think concerning the hair, concerning sexual relations, concerning age and shame. What's your recommendation to young ladies? I know one that I'll particularly send this to, and some people that I'll share to try your best to listen to this. But what do you think is your recommendation? Because it makes no point talking about problems if we don't talk about solutions. So what's your recommendation? How are you tackling it? And how do you suppose that other people could also, help themselves and help the society at large to tackle these issues?
I believe conditioning starts from childhood.
Okay.
So they are not conditioning your dress or your fingernails. They are conditioning your what? Your mind. So now you're grown. You know that you have some erroneous conditioning. So you know your conditioning around sex, your hair, age, marriage, religion is epileptic. What do you do? Thank you for asking. You're going to do everything you can to deconstruct these narratives. Let me give you one toxic, annoying, irritating narrative about women.
Hit me.
Women are their own problems. Like these women have not been conditioned to hate each other. Like these women have not been pitted against each other by patriarchy. Women are their own problems. Well, I don't have to go and meet any man and say, Why do people say women are their own problem? I just know that maybe it's just one angry man somewhere that have been dumped by a woman, or maybe scarred by life, that came up with that narrative. What do I do? How do I fight? I start with my mind. So you've been conditioned for years. So don't expect that this erroneous condition will just leave by you just believing. No, I believe women are not at their own problem. I believe my hair is beautiful. I believe my 4C hair is beautiful. I believe age is just a number. I believe I can get married. I believe I believe I can be happy if I don't get married. I believe I can be happy if I don't have children. I believe marriage is beautiful. No, you can't just change them like that. It's a constant reinforce. You continue to reinforce your mind. You continue to tell yourself these things every single day. Like I use questions I ask myself. Let me start on marriage and age. There's these questions I asked myself recently. Why are you triggered when people say you're single, you're married? Why are you triggered when people say you're 34 and you don't have children? Why are you triggered? Why are you afraid of aging? What if you don't get married at all? What if you don't have children at all in this life? Are you afraid of those things? Why are you afraid of aging? Why are you afraid of being single? Why are you afraid of being childless? Why should somebody tell me that I'm ugly? Like, what make you think that you can be the police around these things? So somebody can sit somewhere and say, this is beautiful, this is ugly, this is the accepted standard of beauty, and then I'll buy it. No. You question things.
That sounds funny. Accepted standard of beauty. Never had that before.
No, there's a standard of beauty. Beauty standard is Caucasian. Light skin, thin nose, long nose, thin lips.
Yeah.
But people like myself don't look that way. So that indirectly means you are what? Ugly.
Oh.
So whether we like it or not, these things have been deeply conditioned into our minds. So how do I fight? I don't have to I don't have to go run into the streets with placards. I don't have to start hating white people. No, I start with my mind, because I know what was attacked was my mind. What was invaded, what was colonized is my mind.
Yeah.
So what do? I start questioning things. When people start questioning things, that's when they actually get redemption. That's what actually when they get freedom. Why are you putting on my slippers? Why do I have to answer to you anyway? Question things. Who said women are their own problem? Why did that person say it? Are women actually their own problem? Who said women are gold diggers? Are you sure men are not gold diggers? Who said black is ugly? How do you know black is ugly? Have you seen yourself? You can't see yourself except without a mirror. Doesn't that tell you something? So somebody is seeing you with biased, flawed mind and telling you you're ugly, you're beautiful, and you believe that. Questions are the answer. You have to question yourself, and you have to put in the work. You have to devote your time, your energy to deconstructing erroneous conditionings, pattern, and all that. And it's a constant battle, because you've not just been conditioned and that's it. There are things put in place in society that keeps conditioning you. There could be movies that teaches that teaches you the wrong way to go about relationships, because relationships these days can be selfish. Most times people think about themselves. I think one of the reasons why marriage is not working is because of what? Expectation. We expect marriage to solve all our problems. We expect marriage to make us happy every single day. But that's not what it is. So that's a real battle. That's a real work. It's hard work, but you can do it, because you get there one day. But I prefer to see it as something that's a journey, not a destination. Not a destination, because as humans, you are not perfect. There will always be some sort of insecurity every now and then. But at least you are not like you haven't done anything at all.
Yeah.
So if you put me with somebody who hasn't done any form of work on their mind, to decolonize their mind, to deconstruct toxic and erroneous conditioning, you're going to see the difference. Because now, if you walk into the room and I feel I notice my heart skip faster, I know why it is, and I'll tell myself, relax, calm down. And I can tell myself, who are these men? By the why do I have to center my life around human beings? Who are they? I don't want 20 men. I just want one man. So why do I have to dress a certain way to please a vast majority of men when I will just end up with just one person? So you have to start questioning things, and you have to be ready, make up your mind to want to change your narratives on a lot of things, and that's part of self-love, by the way.
Oh, that's nice. This is all nice. Thank you very much for all this. It's been enlightening for myself. It's been really enlightening. Some of the discussions I can't relate, most especially the ones on relationship. I can't relate, but I think I can relate a little bit because I have young ladies around that I relate with, not on a personal note like a boyfriend, like a girlfriend, but we know ourselves, we share things, and we talk about things, and even I have to do some work in keeping and sustaining that relationship because I know sometimes they trip. I try my best to know how or what I might say that makes them trip, and then I don't say it. Even with the guys that I know some things that I might say that make them trip. So I try my best not to say those things and things like so. It's very, very enlightening, and it's nice. Thank you very much for this time. What's your shout out?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to dish out this useful information. So I've helped me. I hope it helped, especially our young girls.
Yeah.
12, 15.
Even the early 20s.
Even early like 25 down.
Even 25 upwards.
Because the thing is, they don't even know that they're being conditioned on a daily basis. The movies are conditioning them. Novels teach them of happy ending.
Yeah,
and they don't know they have work to do. The relationship is work. So I'm just happy to share this out. I'm happy. I hope that lots of teenagers who have age by their side, like age is wealth. Trust me, age is wealth. Your age is your assets. I hope they learn from this and not make terrible, terrible mistake and not live with this kind of epileptic and mindset. I hope so.
All right. Thank you very much, Uche. Thank you for joining us in the Think podcast. Guys, there's a lot of things we're working on and a lot of plans that we have, a lot of topics. So, and also thank you very much you for listening to this one, listening up to this point. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the effort. I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay? Bye-bye.